Alrighty guys, g'day. Welcome. Welcome guys, good morning, good afternoon, always very good evening. How are we, ladies and gents? Welcome to another week on the charts. Looking forward to another big week on the charts. Been obviously really good start to July. Been a really consistent month, so we plan to continue in the same way. We just do what we do best, guys. So what we're going to do is obviously do the analysis on GJ, gold, and have a look at a few other pairs as well, and we'll come up with a plan moving forward, see what we can come up with, and then patiently wait for the plan to eventuate. So if you could, guys, smash the like button. There's only 5 of you on stream. Pretty ordinary, to be honest. It's not much fun podcasting, only 5 people, but not your fault. You guys are great. Let's hope a few more jump on shortly to what is, I'm sure, probably the most consistent stream on YouTube. Best education, and also just a great bunch of people, so appreciate you guys. So without further ado, guys, anyway, let's get cracking. Too bad for everyone who's late. I'll have to play catch up. All right, so looking at GJ, so finally we've got a little bit of a catalyst to suggest that we may make a deeper pullback, guys. We've got that previous weekly candle closing back bearish off the back of that strong rejection on Thursday, which was actually the same time as CPI, but I'm pretty sure it was to do with Bank of Japan news of potential intervention, which actually caused markets to just shift as they did on that particular day itself. So looking at the weekly once again, what we can see is that, to me, closed back a weak bearish candle. Does have a long wick to the upside, so it could be just a pause, but if we begin to break the low of the previous candle, there's a high probability we will continue to the downside. So based off the back of that previous weekly candle, moving forward today, what I would likely be looking for is potential sells, guys. As per my rule on a Monday, I prefer to trade with the strength of the previous weekly candle on the first day of the week. However, we may see otherwise. Once we go down to the daily and the other time frames, we'll see if we've got anything to suggest perhaps we could look for a potential buy. Now, so based off the weekly itself, I'm calling that weak bearish candle. I'm just going to remove that low of the previous candle because we are a fair distance off it for the time being. Onto the daily. All right, so this is when I would start to gather a plan for both, for the otherwise, which is to the upside in this case. That previous daily candle closed back a doji candle long wick in our direction right as it's open. So this is either a sign of potential continuation to the downside. Price did begin to break the low of the previous daily candle, so we'll put it back in now. Or if we've begun to break the high of it, and what this candle is likely to suggest, and we'll be popping back above this support to the left, is that a potential reversal, and price, there's a high probability price will come back up towards the high of that previous weekly candle. So at this stage, it looks like we'd be looking for sells as long as we remain below the high of the previous daily candle. We begin to break above the high of the previous daily candle. That is where I'm going to start to shift my bias on the first day of the week, and potentially look for buy options moving forward. Onto the 4-hour time frame, we can see back of that big drop, that big candle itself of the 30 flip structure, end up flipping structure on the 4-hour, also flip the structure in the M30 as well. So what we can see, the 4-hour is now bearish, bounced off of support here to the left hand side, now just in consolidation, not much volume whatsoever, be expected. I'm going to mark in this resistance, but we know we are technically bearish in structure. As far as support, just going to mark it into the closest bodies of these candles to the left to the lowest point. That is pretty much the low of the 4-hour range, and that is the high of the 4-hour range. So we'll see what we've got in between. We're going to be marking some levels in between for potential levels that price could pull back to, form a resistance at, and potentially look for a sell to take it back down in line with the strength of that weekly candle. Now above the high of that previous daily candle, you can see we have some very clean traffic to the left hand side. So once again, if we begin to break above the high, there's a high probability that price will continue to the upside and potentially or eventually come back up towards the previous daily candle's high. So buys above, and looking to the left hand side as well, below the support, we can see we have some very clean traffic as well. So likely be looking for the sells upon continuation as well. So that's just off the back of the 4-hour, guys. We'll see what we've got once we go down to the 30-minute time frame. And that we can see is also very bearish after this big drop to the downside. So we've got these wick rejections. This whole area is quite a lot of data here to the left hand side. We've tapped into the lows multiple times to bounce off it. What we can see is, though, in the current daily candle, I'd probably just roll out to that point there. So I did some analysis with the members yesterday, and I had marked in this particular level, and the price has literally tapped into it around session open, early into Asian session, and it's since rejected. So that was one level I was looking for potential options to sell it from moving forward today. Now, if we do once again pull back to that level, I'd be looking for signs of rejection, looking for confirmation, and then just wait for my catalyst to take a sell back down towards the current daily candle low. So this was the first level of resistance that I did predict that price could potentially pull into to grab some more liquidity before we head back down. Now, the second level, obviously, as long as we remain below that previous daily candle's high, sorry. So as long as if we tap into 206 flat, at that point there, I'm also going to be looking for my confirmations of rejection, take a potential sell back down towards the low. So that would be the second option as far as the sells. Now, below the current low, very tricky because we're running into all these wick rejections to the left hand side. So my issue is that it could just do the same as all these candles have done, and what we've done throughout the day as well. We've tapped into these levels multiple times here. It looked like it was probably going to melt and then to pull back up into consolidation. So for me to look for the continuation sells, well, there really is no, you need to wait for it to create a clean move, cut through all that mess to the left, then pull back, create a relatively clean pullback, rejection, lower high, and that's when I start to contemplate my sell options moving forward. So that is the sell options. Now, seeing we do have some pretty clean traffic above this point here, and seeing we have created within a current daily candle, created a reasonable low wick now. So we have first of all created the high, rejected that resistance I marked in, now pull back to create a low wick. I may start to contemplate the buys from this point here. We start to close above it, we've got some clean traffic to the left. I'd be comfortable at that point to anticipate that maybe this is going to be the support, the lowest point in the current daily candle. We've tapped into all these wicks that we have previously rejected over here to the left. But if we were to do so again and begin to break above the current daily candle's high, the resistance which lines up with this level at 205.50. So if we pop above that psychological round number and close above it, at that point there, I may consider options to take a buy back up towards the resistance at 206 flat. So that is GJ, guys. Hopefully it makes sense. And let's have a look at gold. All right, so just gonna remove the drawings and let's start fresh on gold. Let's do the top down analysis, starting obviously at the weekly time frame. What we can see is previous weekly candle was a, well, in my opinion, I'm going to call it strong bullish candle. I'm going to mark in a fib from the open to the closure, have a long wick to the downside, grabbing liquidity from this previous resistance to the left. We can see we've closed above the 50 from the open to the highest point. Therefore, I'd be comfortable enough to call that a strong bullish candle. Now, as far as potential levels that the new weekly could pull back to form a support, grab some more liquidity from within that previous weekly candle and head back up around the open, it should not really need to pull back much further if it was to continue bullish, as it does already have the long wick to the downside, suggesting it has grabbed liquidity from all these wicks to the left hand side. So in my opinion, there's a high probability if it was to continue bullish, it doesn't need to create much of a low wick. I'm just going to mark in the open that previous weekly candle. May not need to pull back that far though. Onto the daily time frame, and we can see it's still definitely bullish in structure, and we are now up pretty much at a resistance here to the left hand side. Did close back Friday's candle, a weak bearish candle, long wick to the downside, tap into this previous resistance. So if we begin to break above that previous daily candle's high, I feel there's a high probability at that point there we will continue and potentially up to the all-time highs. Could be the next destination yet again, around at 24.50 sort of level. So bullish on the daily. 4 hour is also bullish. We're going to find it's bullish across the board on gold. So we're at a pretty strong level though here to the left hand side. Let's just mark in some levels here, guys. Got that to the upside, just a bit above. To be honest, this whole level for me is a level of resistance that we're currently at. I'm just going to mark in that point from the body to the highest point of that bearish candle, the downside. We're really just marking the lowest point of that bearish candle. What I want to do is mark line something up that resistance to the left, so that lines up perfectly with it, and we can see that sits just above the previous weekly 50% of the previous weekly candles high. That's correct. Sorry, the open of the previous weekly candles high. I'll try it again. Open of the previous weekly candle. So that, again, that to me is potential level of liquidity that price could pull back to grab some more support from, grab some more orders from, before we end up moving in line with that previous daily candle and previous weekly candle. So we are bullish on a 4 hour. Current candle just rejecting quite a bit of strength in the current candle so far. Now our old, that's a strong bearish engulfing on the previous M30. 30-minute structure does remain bullish as well. All right, so let's mark in current daily candles support, all formed at the low. So what we're doing right now is, looks like we're coming back to retest that zone. We have just rejected, created resistance. I'm gonna mark in some more levels just here. It's a tricky one. You got that level there. Is it a 4 hour? It is too. So this whole level is a 4 hour level. Have we rejected the 4 hour zone? Let's just quickly look at it. No. We'll change that to gray. Back to the M30. All right. So it looks like we may have some margin above the resistance we've just recently formed, but not ideal, because you'd be buying it in towards the top third, which is not something I like to do. I'd rather buy it from lower down. So ideally what I want to see on gold is, I'm just going to mark in this minor resistance. We're going to be looking at this point for buy options. I'd rather buy it moving forward. It is strong bullish across the board. So first option is price is pulling back towards the current daily candles low. Even if we sweep below it, only to pop back above, form a support back above that 2407. That point there, I would look for my options to take a buy back up towards the current daily candles high. So buys above the support, potential buys above this resistance, and we have pulled back just now. And if we were to continue bearish, we have created a decent upper wick in a daily candle. So if we were to continue bearish, there is no need to really pull back and retest the current daily candles high. If we did so and began to pop above it, close above it, then what we can see is a high probability that price will continue to the upside. So I'm wary of the 4 hour zone, which starts around the open that bearish engulfing candle. So definitely need to manage the trade, but if it does begin to pop above that resistance, I still would consider the options to buy it. So that would be me moving forward on gold. And if it just begins to sink below support, not going to be interested in selling it today. It's in too big of an uptrend. So I'd probably just need to wait and see how price reacts to 23.98. And that would be me on gold. Hopefully that makes sense. What's JJ up to? Still absolute shithouse. All right, so let's quickly look at the U. All right, so structure's bullish across the board. Just recently did some analysis sent into the members group. What we can see is the previous weekly closed a very strong bullish candle. So off the back of that, I'd only be interested really in looking for buys today. What we can see is though, it closed with not really any upper wick. Current candle is pretty much done the same, so it's pulled straight back. So look, let's just mark in the low of the current daily candle. We have created pullback within it. So if we begin to pop a lot, maybe there could be some cheeky sell options, but at this point I'd still rather be buying it. So you can mark in a 50% of that candle, the daily candle that lines up with pretty much this support. So we see it's relevant. It's a 4-hour level. You see right now we go down to the 4-hour. What I've done is marked in a resistance here to the left, which lines up with some support on the 30-minute, and I've used that as my zone to the downside. To the upside, if we zoom out, there is a bit of resistance on a 4-hour around that level, and above it, it is mighty clean. So for the sake of a few pips, I'd rather just wait for a price to pop above 129.950, because you're into really clean traffic above that point there to look for a potential option and buy it. So similar to gold, we've just formed a resistance on the pullback. If we were to continue bearish, probably should respect that level. However, it's not as clean as gold to the upside. So what I would like to see on GU is pullbacks towards that 129.640. Look for support to form to buy it, and further drop potentially down 129.550 for support to form above that level as well. I'd only be really interested in buys as per the way I trade on a Monday on GU. Yeah, I don't think that cheeky sell option will be of much value, to be honest. You're running straight into support, so I'd be looking at buys if I was trading GU personally. Buys above either of these two levels, 129.640, 129.550, and buys above 129.960 as well. That is GU. For the focus, likely going to be gold because GJ is just consolidating. All right, YouTube. Good day to you, Franco, Roma, Carl F, Ian, Brad. Good afternoon to you. Come on, guys. Where's everyone else? Say good day. I don't know, man kills it on stream and gets less and less views. I have no idea. Go figure. All right, Academy members, I have sent in the link if you guys want to join. You're more than welcome. Good, just make sure to watch on another device. Looking forward to lose any of you on the YouTube stream. I have no one there. Sorry, maybe a board, yeah, I don't know, it could be. I'll start TikTok shortly. TikTok's where it's at these days, guys. We had a very productive weekend, the VIP. Did a sim session for about an hour and 15 minutes on Saturday. Had about 4 or 5 different entries, so it was good. Really enjoyed that. And yesterday we did Sunday webinar. Looking forward to the weekend. So it's a really solid group. We're going well. There's always something going on too. Every day there's some sort of live session, live call. So it's a great place to level up. All right. So look, if this was not a Monday, this is where I start to weigh up the options for buys on GJ. What you've got is consolidation, and it's at a level of support here to the left that we have bounced off, rejected multiple times. So If it were, again, not against the bias, not against the structure, what I'd be looking for is closure above the resistance formed at support on the M30, and then I start to contemplate an option to buy it. But I'm strict to my rules, and my rules at this stage are saying to me, especially over Monday, trade with the strength of that weekly unless I have a catalyst, and that catalyst for me strong enough will be above 205.50 for the buy option. Otherwise, just gonna wait for the rejection. If it does pop up, it's for a potential sell. So likely the focus is on gold, guys. I'm gonna start TikTok off. The gold, I like it. This is good because what we've got now is prices approach this level of support around the current daily candles low. So if this 15-minute closes back as is, no problem, we've tapped in, closes back strong bearish, then all I need is to wait for a 15-minute closure strong bullish, preferably engulfing, and I'll be looking for a trade. So gold's looking okay, guys. At this point, so at a level I want price to be at to start looking for options. Remember, so BTC has overcome a major resistance level, which was expected 2 times. You can continue growing ideas. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Welcome to those of you on TikTok. Welcome. Looking at gold buys today. I'm all about the buys based off the previous weekly candle. So price at a level of support just now, where if it does begin to bounce off this level, I could look for options to potentially buy it. Otherwise, buys above the daily high on continuation as well. At that point there's a high probability will come up to 24.18. Looking at GJ right now, my preference is to sell it as long as we remain below like 205.50. So at the moment I'd be looking for price to pop up to 205.3 50 to 400 level, look for rejection and sell it back down. Not going to sell it below low because we're already into this support. So that's my idea on GJ. Off the back of that previous weekly counter, go to look for the sells on the Monday. BTC, so let's look at it. So it has bounced, has made a big move to the upside. Let's do the analysis. So far so good. All the paper trades on Bitcoin. Again, only paper trading Bitcoin for the time being in anticipation of trading it live in a few months time. So weekly, previous weekly, it closed back a strong bullish candle. Closed back right at that support to the left, and we've now broken back above it. So yeah, it looks like we've that 60k level as well, psychological round number, we've really popped above that level there. So at this point, based off the weekly, we are strong bullish. What I'd be doing is marking a current weekly candle, the low of it, and so we have a high, low, higher, high. If we were to continue bullish, we don't really necessarily need to pull back and break our own low yet again. Doesn't mean that we can't and then flip back bullish, but it could also provide some potential sell options below that point there. So we are at a level of resistance on a daily. We can see the structure still remains bullish from this big impulse from 50k all the way up to the all-time high at 73.80. So bullish, and we've got some micro trend to the downside though. We are now retesting a resistance. If we begin to pop above that level, bring a higher high within the micro trend, and again bouncing above that 60k, this support here to the left, I feel there's a high probability at point there where we'll end up heading right back up if that's to be the case. 4 hour is bullish as well. Yep, definitely bullish, but as we can see, it's at a resistance. I'll be marking pretty much this whole level. And it's pretty much tapped into it just now. We can see. Gonna mark in that level is swing where structure will flip back bearish, so that's below the current and weekly, daily / weekly low. So it's got a fair bit of traffic to contend with around at 63 to 64k level that we're currently almost at, or about to tap into. So what I'd probably be looking at on Bitcoin is sort of 30 minutes also bullish, and it will remain bullish as long as we remain above the current daily candles low. So be marking that level in. I'd prefer to buy it, but it's at a strong level of resistance. So having said that, starting to look like we're forming a bit of exhaustion at this level. So if we begin to pop up, reject, come back down to this support, maybe bounce off it only to start closing below it, there's a high probability at that point there price is going to come back down towards the current daily candles low. So that's just based off pure price action at levels. That's what I'd be looking at on Bitcoin sells below that point there. If I was to trade in line with the way I trade FX and gold and all that, then I'll probably just look for the pullbacks to buy it today, seeing it is strong bullish. But Bitcoin's a different beast, and again, it reacts really strongly to previous levels from what I remember. So seeing right at the resistance makes no sense for me to buy it into it. I'd rather see how price reacts to it, and then potentially look for options to sell it below, probably marking that level as support. Buys upon the pullback above the current daily candles high. If it does, just sink below that level. Now it could just pull back to create a higher low within the structure itself. So it doesn't necessarily have to come all the way back to the current daily candles low. Could pull up even at 61.40. We've got some data here to the left, or even higher up, just create the high low and end up pulling back up to retest the highs of 64k. Yeah, a bit of data to the left hand side there, so we'll just wait and see. But for the time being, seeing the level it's at, either sells as price begins to pop below support, I'd rather tap into that resistance at 63.20 first, then reject, or buys from lower down. That's what I'd be looking at on Bitcoin. BJ popping up. So it would have been a tricky one, no upper wick. You guys know how I feel about that. I learned from past trades, and past few trades I took without wicks, I got rolled. So all right, gold is trying to melt through the support. All good. Plenty of time, guys, plenty of time. Benjamin on TikTok. Am I a fan of XRP? I have 589 followers. Don't know what it's got to do with XRP. No, I'm not, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of crypto anymore, to be honest. Not like I used to be. But I want to start trading Bitcoin again. Not so much to accumulate it, but just to trade it in general. And that's why at the moment I'm just testing it out to see if it works basically the same way as I would trade gold, GJ, all the Forex pairs, and so far so good. So in due course, in time, I do plan to be trading it live. Janine, good to see you. I'm good, man. Hope you're well. Roar upon, yeah, just done gold, so just waiting for see price form support at the current level. Off the back of the previous weekly, it is a strong, in my opinion, it's a strong bullish candle. So that resistance is a tough one because Mondays I trade in line with the strength of the previous weekly candle. So I'd rather just wait patiently for price to get even. Well, it's at one of the levels now I want it to form support at, but it's breaking through it. Or buy it from a little bit lower down if it does pop down further. As far as a catalyst to sell it, not a bad one potentially presenting just now, but one thing you definitely need to ask yourself is, from these highs to the current level, if you're not already in trade, you're getting in almost 100 pips after the move. So in any circumstance, even if I was to look for a sell at this point, that would be a slightly off-putting. I'd rather see some sort of exhaustion, like 15-minute candle closing back weak bullish, trigger in some buyers, just draw it in, trigger in some buyers, closing still the 30-minute below this support to the left, so we go back to the 30. And then as price begins to pop below that minor support formed on even the 15-minute time frame, below that support, the current daily candle's low, and begins to break it, there's high probability it will come back down towards 23.98. But without that pause, without that exhaustion, my query is, my concern is, we've already dropped, like I said, almost 100 pips in the last, so far, 50 odd minutes, so last 230 candles. So I'm looking at thinking, well, if I was to be a sell, I've had to try to get in at some point up here, get in early on the move, not so late to it. So again, trigger in some buyers first, then the move becomes valid. Alpaca Bowl 98, Apex is halted. I'd be in sells, last 45-minute candle closure entry, 45-minute candles. Is that even a thing? It is. Nice one.
It sound right, boy.
That's alright, that's your more than entitled to your opinion, so never used the 45-minute candles, to be honest. Didn't even realize they existed. There you go, learn something new each and every day. Janier, good to hear. Lost 400 today, just one back 100, need 300 more. To be honest, mate, shouldn't be looking at it like that. I'm not trying to be rude, but the way you should be looking at it is doing things the right way. So once again, having a plan, sticking to the plan, not over trading, not seeing the dollar up and down, whatever you're at, and focusing on that. If you're focused on that, that leads to emotions getting involved in your trading, and that's when that is really detrimental to it. So if I can, give you any advice from what I've learned in my years of trading, don't worry about that. Don't focus on that. Just focus on doing things right. So if it gives you an entry, fantastic. If not, you just sit patiently and you get your chance. And when you take your entry on a high probability setup, if you waited patiently enough, then there's a good chance it'll be a nice result. Jenny, no problem, man. Just yeah, it's all about patience. Sent a little text into the members prior to the stream. Gold broke its own high after this counter closure. It'd be a pretty good entry. At the bed, didn't it? So it didn't break its own high. Ended up melting. There was a little possibility for a cheeky interruption play, but it's a little bit too early for me to get involved in that type of entry. So right now I'm just patiently going to be waiting. Alright, so the 1 hour is looking good. But once again, like I've said, there is no exhaustion whatsoever from the highs. So already pushed 100 pips. For me, there was no real entry here. I mean, 15-minute golfing. Just there was probably only half decent entry. And because I wasn't trusting it at that point, I'm looking at thinking I'm getting in 100 pips after the move. So doesn't mean it can't continue. I'd rather not. I'd rather just be patient. JJ, patience, discipline, but most importantly consistency. I'm new to trading, bro, but I'm slowly learning. That's it. Slowly going. That's it. It is all about patience and discipline. A lot of it. Because the analysis is probably the easiest part of it all, in all honesty. So patience and discipline lead to consistency, and consistency starts with not just, I'm talking about the results, but how you go about things. So from the very beginning of your day, way you mark up the chart, doing your analysis, having your plan as to how many trades are maximum of a day, or how much risk exposure you're willing to take on your equity of a particular day. So for me, I know I'm never going to lose more than 2% of a day. It'd be very, very, very rare. I can't remember last time I lost more than 2% of a day, to be honest. Hardly taking any losses in the past month and a bit, maybe 2 months, to be honest, guys. So you guys have seen it. Yeah, and it's all about just patience and trying to plan. So right now, my plan isn't to sell it. So I'm not just going to start to go against my plan and think, all right, so we're melting, I've got to get into a sell. I don't have any confirmation. It's closed below, yes, but it's come straight from these highs. There is no exhaustion. The fact of the matter is, because I didn't trust the sells from higher up, it's against the structure, it's against my bias, against that previous weekly candle. I'd be getting way too late at the moment. Rockstar 41 roll. For me, it always says upcoming. It doesn't show as live when searching your channel on YouTube. Could be why. Really? That's strange, because see, I noticed that when I go to live now, sometimes it's still, or when I search it, it comes up as yeah, it comes up the same, and there's somehow, for some reason, there's two separate streams going. No, it's alright. Now it's not. I don't know, it's really strange. Yeah, because I noticed that if I check it out prior to the stream starting, I mean, it's just starting soon, that stream, or upcoming. When I actually go live, it doesn't take me to the live stream. Yeah, I have no idea. 3 days in a row? Yeah, God knows. You know, it's frustrating, but not much I can do about it. To be honest, I'll try have a look at the settings, see if I can tinker around with it, but I just almost stuff it up completely, to be honest. Right, GJ. We want GJ to pull up higher before it rejects. Gonna keep an eye on gold. I appreciate it. Roxanne 41 roll. I really appreciate it. I'll have to check it out. Also, guys, I did post a YouTube short video and a recap video over the weekend, so plenty of work done, as well as all the stuff with the members over the weekend. So I'll share the links to that. Make sure to give it a watch. You know, not right now, obviously. Maybe open it in a new browser and watch it later. Got a series of shorts being released this whole week. Got another one today. I think it's around just after 10 AM UK time. So here's a link to the short. And there's also the other recap video, which is a really good one, guys. It's free education, the recap video. You're rejecting. Fair bit of volume. That's a strong rejection of 4 hour. 4 hours broken a lot of the previous broken high of it. So that's a liquidity candle, guys. So seeing we had, prior to breaking the high of the wick of that previous 4 hour candle, that bullish candle, we had created a lower wick, then went up to break the high. So based off probabilities, we were to continue bullish, really had no need to pull back and break the low of that previous bullish candle. Now, seeing we've done so after breaking the high of that candle, what that suggests to me is likely we've grabbed some liquidity from the upside, and now we've broken the candle's low. There's high probability we will continue for the remainder of the 4 hour candle to the downside. Like I said though, there's just no exhaustion so far, and it's been a straight drop from the current daily candle's high, more than 100 pips. So even if I'm not going to be taking it because it's against my rules, I'll call it. I'll tell you guys what I'll be looking for. So I'll be looking for literally some support to fall below this M30 support. It can be on the 15-minute time frame, and then as price begins to close below it, that would be a pretty solid entry. TikTok, sorry guys, what I missed. Pinu? I get excited when I'm profiting and lose it all after that. Yeah, that's all because emotions have control of your trading. That is the unfortunate truth. So, I mean, I used to be the same. I think we all go through that. We've all been through it. For me now, I just trade my plan, trade my rules, treat it like a business. So for me right now, I'm going to work for the next few hours. And that's how I see it. So I want to do a proper job with things, so I got to stick to my plan. I'm not so focused on the result just now, focused on getting myself into a quality entry if it presents. And it's another liquidity candle, so again, same thing of the minor time frame. This is likely going to head down, but I am bloody strict with my rules, guys. So, but there you go. Let's just measure it, see how far it drops. So far, about 8 pips. We'll keep an eye on gold anyway. True Seeker, good day to you. Panu. The 4 hour shows bearish. Must I wait for it to complete before placing an order? Look, greater confirmation is closures, but you're gonna have to wait 2.5 hours or just under. So what I'd be looking for is like I mentioned, a little bit too late to the sell at this right now, in my opinion. Till we trigger in some buys. Form a support, create a pullback. Once again, potentially retesting is 204.6, only to reject. And that's when I feel the sells are of higher probability. Right now, again, let's measure it. It's well over 100 pips. Yeah, 110. So if you didn't cross the sells up here, which I didn't, then I'd be looking at just now. That's the first decent catalyst, the closure below the support, to suggest that, right, we're probably ready to head back down to the next level, but it's already pushed 100 pips at that point. So I'd rather trigger in some more liquidity into the market, so I can then believe if it broke again, that's likely got the volume and momentum to head back down to 2398 and 2400 flat. Without that, I'm just a little bit suspect. True Singer, no, I'm not in sales. Oh, no, I'm not taking any trade yet. To be honest, prior to the stream, I started on YouTube just a while ago. I was waiting for this to pull back up, break its own high to get involved in buys, but never did it, obviously. So I'm just chilling, just waiting patiently. And a lot of time on these streams, guys, it's unfortunate because people drop off, you know, after an hour and a half or 2 hours thinking, yeah, nothing's going to happen. How often do I get a trade, like in the last 20 minutes of the stream or something? Off late, that's been pretty much the case. Towards where I normally wrap it up is when something presents. JJ, what time frame are you set up on? So 30 minutes my confirmation, my catalyst. 15 can provide the, not so much the confirmation, but it can be the main driver, the main catalyst, main signal candle. But it just depends on, you know, if it obviously if it presents and if it coincides with a 30-minute candle closing back in my direction as well. And I will go down to the 5-minute times also to add confluence to a trade. But when I'm talking about confirmations, generally I'm speaking about the 30-minute. So the zones are marked in on the 30. I do mark in now 15-minute zones as well, gold also. But usually prior to any entry, I want to see at least 30-minute candle closing my direction. So let's just say, what sort of example can I use? Well, off the 15, for instance, how this we've made such a big push, and like I said, the first 15-minute candle after the closure below closed the weak bullish candle, triggered in some buyers, formed a minor support below the previous support, and then I trust the sells on the next M30 using 15 confluence to that sort of catalyst, that minor support. If we break support, we're likely to dip back down to the next level. If we break resistance, we're likely hanging up to the next level. So I don't get FOMO or anything because I just trade my plan. I have very simple, clear-cut rules, and I follow them. Sometimes it means I get involved, sometimes it doesn't. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Trizza, no, I'm not taking nothing today. Very early. I don't usually trade Monday until earliest London session, earliest. Alpaca boy, Apex holder for anyone. Is Apex a prop firm? I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay. Yep, so it is. I'm assuming it's this. Alright, so there are issues, is there? I've of the opinion, I only trust one funded prop firm. The only one I trust. I've been burnt. I got burnt altogether. I got burnt at 300k account. Is that what they do? Is they just make up stupid rules so they don't have to pay you out? Out of thick air, they make up these stupid rules, all these prop firms. There's only one that doesn't and that pays out, and that's FTMO. That's the only one that I know of anyway. They continually pay out without any hassles whatsoever. JJ, do I trade support and resistance? Yeah, I do. I trade not just that though. I trade continuation patterns. I trade many different ways to get involved. I trade upon continuation. I got, yeah, heaps of ways. JJ from Oz, from Melbourne, man. Wait yourself. All right, let's see. Bullish engulfing M15 is going to close probably back above that support. It's going to close the M30 with a long wick to the downside, liquidity candle that could provide buys at London Open. So this candle to close bullish engulfing the M15. Very, very simple clear cut rule to follow. Nothing else will suffice at the moment for a buy. Now, I'm not interested in the sells, like I mentioned. Don't have any pullback or anything just yet, so nothing in regards to the sells for me. You're from NZ? Nice one. Heard many good things about New Zealand. There's obviously a lot of Kiwis in especially Melbourne. It's heaps. Never been. Most of my family have, but always wanted to, but just I don't have that time, to be honest. I heard it's pretty expensive, probably the same as here. Probably cold like here as well. Melbourne's freezing at the moment. Raining all freaking day, not stopped. Still managed to smash the leg workout at the gym. Trust every time I buy it. Every single time. So not investment advice, but full disclosure, my pretty much my main asset is silver. I think it's the most undervalued commodity there is. It's the most conductible metal. It's used in the manufacturing of pretty much everything, especially electronic, all the EV stuff. It is in high demand and the supply is dwindling, so for me it's my number one asset that I accumulate. And physical silver, not talking about trading it, I'm talking about buying physical stuff. So I just DCA every fortnight, or sometimes every week, usually every fortnight. JJ NZ is beautiful country, bro. Yeah, it's been raining over here in Rotorua all day. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot more beautiful than in Melbourne anyway. Melbourne's okay. It's I mean, big city. That's pretty much it. It's too busy for my liking. In a bad way. I don't mind a busy city, but Melbourne is just, you know, maybe because you live here all your life, it gets boring. Mergundra, what is your most profitable and losing trade, and what do you learn from it? Probably the biggest loss was literally a full margin on gold around the New Year. So I've learned my lesson. That was about over 5 years ago. About 5 or 6 years ago. Frustrated, was up and down. I think at that point I had a slightly minus day NFP, so I'm just gonna roll the dice. Got absolutely slammed, lost the whole account. Wasn't a massive account, but it was still quite a considerable loss. So monetary wise, probably I don't trade massive lots. I've mentioned before, the most I've ever traded is 8 lots, but for the most part it's only around 2 lots at the moment, 1 or 2 at the moment. So for the most part it's kept well under, you know, $500, but that particular trade was a lot more profit wise, probably on crypto as well, to be honest. Back in the day, on Bitcoin Cash of all things, back in the day, and that was forking. Took a short when I was about to board a plane on an 8-hour flight. Got off the flight, turn the phone back on, all the big cash, big dollars, only to lose it a few days later. Actually that night, I think it was, to be honest, lost the majority of it that night. But that was when trading was gambling for me. The trading wasn't a business. I wasn't serious about it. Now I have rules, I have risks, I manage my risk. Very different story today. Top Trader Gold, good morning to you, brother. Hope you're well. Welcome. Watching gold melt once again. It happens. There's still no exhaustion whatsoever. Yeah, so full disclosure, I'm not trading 20 lots of trade or 10 lots of trade or anything like that. I have no doubt I will be at some point. And GJ is just shit house. Absolute crash at the moment. Pretty much GJ, unless something happens at the open, it's pretty much a write-off at the moment. And gold just need to wait for it to do something other than just melt. It needs to form a support or something. So ideally, what would be nice to see on gold, but again, it can do whatever it wants to do, it doesn't have to listen to me, is if we start to consolidate in the 15-minute and pop back up towards the highs of this previous support, reject, and then start closing above it. And that potentially could be the lowest point for the new daily, potentially the lowest point for the new weekly. And that could provide an option to take it back up, clean move to the downside. There's a good chance it will make another clean move back up. But the good thing is with this drop, cut through this consolidation, and to me it opens it up to potential trades if we begin to pop back above that support. Janine, what time do I end the stream? Probably in about just over an hour now. Just depends. Yeah, shit. Power speak save. Got to check that. Excuse my language, by the way. Probably why you guys can never find me. YouTube probably put me back in the algorithm if I say that word too much. How about obviously what happened over the weekend? Absolutely crazy, isn't it? All right, so it's a Japan banking holiday, so I didn't realize that. So that potentially could be why there is absolutely no volume in GJ. We'll pick up shortly with London opening. So Empire State Manufacturing Index to come 30 minutes into NY session today. And obviously the Fed chair speaking. So whatever, again, the rhetoric from that will massively affect obviously gold and any of the majors. So we'll see if they come out again suggesting potential softening of policy. What that would do is likely give gold another big boost. So we could just be grabbing some liquidity for that news event or the speech before it heads back up. So it would not surprise me when I wake up in the morning and I see that gold could be potentially right back up near its all-time high. So off the back of last week, back with CPI and all the speeches, gold shot straight up. So could do likewise. Could just grab some liquidity right now before it forms support, and whatever comes out of that speech could be obviously direct traffic moving forward. So still hearing the same thing as far as from the Fed, or likelihood from what they might do. Not that I have a direct line to the Fed, only that'd be interesting. Still, they're looking at 2 cuts supposedly. Some people are suggesting that they shouldn't be cutting at all. They should raise rates prior to any cut. That's pretty much what they are saying here in Oz. Not likely to cut any rates anytime soon. If anything, they're likely to raise the rates. So we got retail sales tomorrow. Gonna be a big one. Throughout the remaining weeks, CPI for the pound. All right, so I'll be on live for that. TikTok, I'll chuck you guys on the stream prior to that as well then. So that's Wednesday. I'll start a bit early for you guys on TikTok. What else? Orange folder news. FOMC member speaking. Some high impact news for the Aussie, and there's some more high impact news for the pound on Thursday with the climate change. So pretty big week. Unemployment claims on for the US dollar. EU monetary policy statement. So it is quite a big week in the end, guys. And retail sales on Friday for the pound. So big week, especially for the pound. Vegas exclusive. You bought instant funded account. Okay. Keep us posted. Hopefully it goes well. There are so many out there, you just lose track of them all. But like I said, there's only one that I personally have seen results from. I've seen people getting paid out from. Doc, good morning to you. Hope you're well. Welcome. How about that weekend though? Wow. Simpsons were almost correct yet again. Very close to it. Matter of like maybe an inch. It's a crazy, crazy well. That's all I can say. Just went this morning. The England team lost the final two. Oh, did they? Oh, all right. So that's why there's no one on stream. There we go. Figured it out. They're all probably hungover. Oh well, you know, painful. Suppose it would be, considering you guys don't often get so close, do you? So I can understand. Bit unfortunate, but you're too sober because you had to drive. Oh, okay, that's all right. But at least that explains things. Now I understand why there might be a few less on stream today. All right, so we got London open now, guys. And gold is still no support, still no pullback. To me, like I mentioned, it's just too far gone to get involved in the sell right now. So let's see what London brings. Maybe we'll just grab liquidity. If we close now 30-minute bullish engulfing back above, then going to be options to buy, which is need patiently wait. If not, we come back down to this support at 23.98 or even 2400 flat and bounce off that. It could be options later on for a buy. Second fall in a row though. Oh really? Yeah, that's not great. Oh, it's got no upper wick. This could be a really cheeky option to buy, guys. Very risky. It's got no upper wick. If it taps into the previous candle's low and breaks it, I may take a very small entry. Anticipation, it's going to flip to crane upper wick at some point. Stop loss would have to be wide one. So I've not entered. Very small risk. Very small risk. because it's in anticipation we're going to flip and create an upper wick. My entry is so really small risk, guys. Seeing its session open, we'll pop straight down. Not quite tapped into a level that I want it to tap into, I'd rather it happen down the bottom here. But taking anticipation, we're going to flip to create an upper wick. Now I'm pretty comfortable with where I've got the stop loss as far as risk on the table. I've got a lot smaller position size. Top trade goal, 98% chance September. JP should give some indication today, but he will wait to see next month's CPI. If CPI comes in lower, institute money showing bullish. Yep. So I've heard September as well. Do you think gold will skyrocket this morning? I might enter a swing. Just trade your plan. So if I get wrecked here, that's probably because I jumped in a little bit early. So, but I'm accepting of the risk. I've spoken about this to some of the guys that I coach. As long as you're accepting of your risk, and sometimes using your intuition isn't the worst thing. Nothing wrong with using your intuition, and this is pretty much what I've done just here. BJ, not too much. Any more to you, mate? Just woke up. What did I miss? Very impulsive goal buy. I'm still at entry. It is very impulsive. It's based on intuition more than anything. Not quite tapped into a level I want to get involved. It's tapped into this level, but it's melted below it. So I entered in anticipation. This candle is no upper wick, so it's likely going to create one, which is doing just now. So there you go. I've got almost 10, guys. I'm getting to break even. There you go. Job done. I closed half. So a quick little entry as per my rules. Once I get to about 10 pips, I start to secure, get to break even. So I'm now at break even. Gonna first of all copy. What I do is my journal is sent into the members group, and I explain every single trade I take, why I took it, before and after result. There you go, guys. That's flipping again. Nice one. I don't suspect many of you were in it because it was quite a cheeky little entry, but it's a good way to start the week. The winning streak continues on the stream. I have not lost on the stream for almost a month now. Franco, thank you. So are you, mate. It's just using intuition. Sometimes you're the main person I spoke to, and I've spoken to this about accepting your risk, using your intuition. There we go. So it's a quick little win, guys. Still in it. See if it does make a bit more of a move. We're making this a habit, guys, so spread the word, spread the love, let others know I'm on. So I've just been taking out my runner. That's all right. Quick little 10 pips on goal. Good way to start the week. And we'll see now what I could do now is, because it's pulled back up to create an upper wick, and now it's popping back down. If it breaks zone low, there's a high probability it's going to make that move back down. So see how it reacts to 2400 flat, and then potentially 2398. It does pull back down to that level for some potential options. Dot, thank you. Don't even wait for the buy. And what's his Justin is by your side. Yeah, you might be hurting for a day or so. To be honest, I've never really got emotional about it. Only when I was a child, the Aussie rules. Only when I was younger, I used to get emotional. My team got smashed, or if we lost in the finals or something. But since then, even when Aussies play, of course I like to see them win, but I don't really get that emotional about it. Peter, looks like missed. Yeah, sells, well, as you would know, mate, from yesterday, from the analysis, the webinar, my plan on gold today was the buyers and the sells. Had you have got in sells, I feel it's a little bit late to the party. You probably had to get in higher up, not after the fact. So it's not formed any support whatsoever. So I look at it just now and think it's pushed 120 pips. So I'm not in a sell from higher up. Still wouldn't have trusted to sell. What I mentioned before is I want to see that type of scenario where I want to see a little bit of a pause below the support, like so. On the 15, that would be fine. Trigger in some buyers and then begin to break that pause, and that to me is more of a solid sell option. None of that. So for me, again, it's just a matter of waiting for potential buys. Took the little intuitive option, cheeky little entry. That's a quick in and out for 10, and it's a decent start to week. I remember those days, Dot. Vegas stop loss. I had a stop loss back at this support. So once again, it's just using intuition. It's not really any of my trades, to be honest. So, but again, it's based off the fact that we know there's, if you were to go through all these counts to the left, I'd hazard guess more than 90% of them would have a wick in either direction. Session open, hop straight down, there's a high probability eventually it's going to pop up to crane up a wick, which is what it did. At that point, I already had about 11 or so pips on the table once it did flip again. So it's enough to get to start securing and get to break even. Guys in the VIP as well, don't forget tonight my time, but after the stream a little bit later we have that educational session, so hopefully you guys can join. And if you can't join but you have some questions, it will be recorded, so feel free to throw those into the chat and into the VIP chat, and I'll make sure to cover those on the educational call. Goats, good day to you. Welcome. London Open, GJ. Don't like how it's popping back down now. So in this scenario, what I mentioned before is I want it to create a clean move to cut through those wicks. Because my issue is it could do like what every other candle with these, you got series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles did. Look like it's going to melt and just shoot all the way back up. So it could pull up anywhere within these wicks and reject. So unless I see it cut through it, once again for education guys, like so, and then we pull back and maybe reject this previous level. Till that happens, for me, if it just continues to melt now, for me there's just no option to get involved. I'd rather not get involved. I'd rather wait for it to do what I've just drawn out, and then I start trusting the sell options moving forward. Bitcoin not quite tapped in. Alright, Xauusd looking not bad. Let's pop back down to the current daily candles low. Xauusd looking pretty good actually. So what I'd probably be looking for is one of two things now. So if this candle is about to close in the next 15 seconds on the 15-minute, but closes back as is, it's relatively strong, so I probably need to wait for a closure back above the 15-minute candle high, like so, on the next candle. I mean, probably could take the risky impulse entry if it breaks. Use the fib to determine if it's a strong or weak closure. Closed above the 50, so would suggest it's more of a weak closure. Looking at the 30 though, yeah, liquidity candles broken low the previous, ran up a wick, has no need to pull back up, break the high M30. What I'd be waiting for personally is the 15-minute closure. Close back above, like so. I'm gonna close the M30, the long wick to the downside. Tap into support to reject, closing up near its high. And then for me, the entry will be on the following M30. But there is a chance it could just go, because we have bounced off the support formed at the current daily candles low. If we break the current 30-minute candles high, break that previous M15 high, there is a good chance it will continue. But the higher probability entry is to wait for the 15-minute closure back above the bearish candle. Big gold just finished my account. How did gold finish your account, mate? And you need to have a plan for all that. You need to be managing risk. So I'm assuming you've been buys from somewhere up here and just hold. That is probably why your account is gone. All right, let's watch gold. So what is going on here? All right. Has it tapped into a level though? So you've got potentially a catalyst forming. You got, first of all, a long liquidity candle. On that previous candle, closing back week bearish. Current candle looks to be, well, it could potentially engulf. It still got 11 minutes left and it could make the move in the meantime. But if it does close back engulfing without making the entire move, it's going to form support yet again. Just not sure if we've pulled back enough just yet. Seeing we've broken this support, we know there's a high probability once we leave one range into a new range, that is probably about 80+% chance we're going to retest the range at the opposite end, the level at the opposite end of the range, which is this support. So I'm a little bit hesitant to get involved at this point if it does form a support, because I'd still be concerned. I don't know, you might be asking them, why did I take it before? That was just intuition. The fact that the London Open candle had no upper wick, broke the low of the previous candle, good chance it's going to pull back to create some sort of an upper wick. That was why I took that entry. But now I'd still be concerned it could eventually make that move down, trigger me into a trade prior to it, then come down, and eventually the buys from lower down could present. So we'll have to wait and see. Likely at this point, I'm just going to be patiently waiting for price to come back down or pop back above that 24.07 roughly. I mean, look at GJ now. Franco took G buys a break of the bullish M15 counter high. Mr. Phil, good day to you, mate. Nice one. Yep. Impulsive entry, nice one. Like I said, still made sense, and you're fully aware of your risk as well, and you're looking good. Yeah, you're looking really good, man. Good start to the week. What there we go. We're killing it. We kill it every single day almost, and we still got stuff all watching. So they'll come. They'll come. We trade with you know, with confidence. We're good traders on this stream. So let's break even. Nice one, brother. Looking good. You probably almost have a 1-to-1 by now. Jeremy, man, hope you're well. Long time. How's things, brother? Good to see you on the stream. DJ's a shit. Absolute waste of time looking at GJ right now. It's just in consolidation. Look at all these wicks. Good bounce off it, but there's no confirmation. Good drop, but it's rejected multiple times. So in this scenario, instead of trying to get involved, just simply wait. Wait for it to either come up, to reject, to sell it, or drop down, up through, create clean move, bounce back up to sell it, or you could even, if you want, to look for the buy from down low as well. There is anyone out there who knows anything about the algorithm of YouTube and how I can get my stream to actually show when you type in live forex trading, send me a DM. Maybe we can do some work together, because it doesn't show when I type in live forex trading. I mean, there's guys with one person watching the shop, or I have no idea why. Demo? So yeah, I just don't know what the keywords are. Got live forex trading and it doesn't pop up. Pops up when you type in forex trading, but not live forex trading. Roma? Yeah, I've closed it, man. Closed it, but it is a trade I've taken, obviously, so that's why I've got it up there. Yeah, I closed it ages ago. Came back to entry as the runner. Now it's bouncing. Yeah, for me, it's just not at any sort of level. It has to pop down a little bit more and bounce off. I want to tap into 2400 flat. Franco closed half due to 15 resistance. Yeah, nice one. Good start to week though, mate. Well done. Yeah, I'm not in gold anymore, man. That's why I've removed the order from the screen. Pretty secure, so don't need to have this on anymore. But you didn't answer the question, man. Why? How did gold finish your account? So if this had happened lower down, this is a pretty strong catalyst. You've got bullish engulfing 15 minute. You've got the bias to the upside. It's bullish across the board. You've got 30 minute leaving long wick to the downside. Just not a level for me to get involved right now. So there's a good chance it's going to pull back up to retest this previous support. You got enough margin. But for me, I'm going to wait. I'm just simply going to, I've already taken that first trade. So all good. Not a bad start for a Monday. DJ coming down. This is exciting, isn't it? So it'd make more sense if gold broke its own high now. But once again, I'm not bothering. I've already taken my one trade for Monday. So you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna call it. There's only 20 people on here, so it's just not much fun today. Already had my win. Hopefully some of you had a win. I know you did, Franco, so well done to you, brother. I appreciate your support always. Everyone else, you guys know who you are. I appreciate you. You're all fantastic. Let's hope we get a few more onto the stream tomorrow and moving forward. gives me more to work with as well. TikTok, thank you guys for joining as well. I'll start streaming tomorrow at around 7:30 a.m. UK time for both YouTube and TikTok. We'll see you then, guys. You have a good one. Take care. Appreciate the support. Catch you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye, guys.